Welcome, everyone. My name is Dawn Medley. I'm the Senior Vice President of Business Finance Programs at FSC First, and I would like to welcome you to this webinar on how to apply on an online portal for the Purple Line Business Assistance Grant. I will be sharing my screen and taking you through every single screen so you know exactly how to apply for this grant. First, I want to thank our business partners and strategic partners with Javier Rivas with Latino Economic Development Corporation and Sandy Dubé with Platinum PR. At this time, I just was a reminder that this Purple Line grant is available for businesses along the Purple Line corridor in districts 2 and 3 that have not received Purple Line grants previously, either through the county or through Commerce. This grant is a continuation of the grant that's being sponsored by the Prince George's County Council and is now extended for those of you who have not been able to access funds or previously had difficulty getting your application through the portal with the 2 previous grant programs. So at this time, I'm going to begin sharing my screen and taking you through the application process. All right, so this is the thing about this application is that it is in 2 parts. The first part determines your eligibility for the grant, and the second part continues to collect the important documents needed to complete your grant application. So it is in 2 parts. Notice at the top that this is like a ledger. Most of you are used to seeing a ledger out to the side or a navigation bar. This navigation bar is at the top. And so it actually will move as you move through the application to let you know where you are. We'll also indicate if you skipped any areas. Okay. So I've already filled in the name of the business that we're going to talk about today, Biz Money for You, LLC. Please, this note at the top is very important. I'll keep reiterating it throughout the webinar to make sure that you click next and not click save. And I'll tell you why shortly. But first, the first thing you want to do is enter your business name. Notice the orange or red asterisk. That means the field is required. That's going to mean the system will not let you skip it. Okay, so now we're going to enter our EIN number. This also could be called a tax ID number. Then you want to enter a description of your business. Okay, a business website, if you have one, your business telephone, where your street name, where you're located, your city, and your state, and your zip code, all required fields. And then you want to select the county. If you choose anything besides Prince George's County, the application will be ineligible. These funds, as I said, are sponsored by the Prince George's County Council. We do understand that the Purple Line does extend into Montgomery County, but this grant is for Prince George's County businesses along the Purple Line corridor only. And so here you want to click next. If you click save, the only thing that's going to happen is it will save your work and you'll get an email with a link that tells you you can go in and continue your work by using this link. And we'll demonstrate that shortly. So now we're going to click next. And it will take you, see how this moves? See how the navigation moved to the next field? It will take you to the very next section of the eligibility portion of the the grant application. Here it's asking you if you're in good standing with Maryland SStat. The correct answer is yes. Otherwise, you'll be temporarily ineligible. If you have to click no, it's okay. Save your work. Go to the website, Maryland SStat website, and file your annual report and get in good standing. And then you can come back and continue your application. You'll need to do that immediately though. And you can even provide a screenshot for us to show us that you've done it. So, but if you click yes, when it's actually no, we do confirm during the application process whether or not you're in good standing. So whether you click yes or no, we're going to check. If you click no, it's not the end of the story. Go fix that, come back, continue your application, and then you can be able to click yes. You want to select what councilmatic district you're in. Again, the Purple Line Corridor is in districts 2 and 3. If you're unsure, you can click here and go check and see what district, councilmatic district, your business resides in. You need to be open and operating. So the only right answer here is yes. If you're not, this grant, you are not eligible, and you will have to confirm that you're open and operating later with financials. How many years have you been in business, been operating? There's no wrong answer here as long as you're open and operating. Did your business generate revenue in the past 3 years? We're going to say yes. Or if you're a startup and you are actually open, you're still eligible. Or if you had negative cash flow last year, you still created revenue, you need to verify that you are an ongoing business concern and not a hobby. The current number of employees, there's no wrong answer for that. It's just that you have them. If you're a sole proprietor, you want to put 1. That would be you. What business, what industry best describes your business? You want to just select one that best closely matches your business. Again, this is a required field, so just get as close as you can. What kind of organization type are you? For profit. This grant is for profit only. Nonprofits are not eligible for this grant. The ownership type is also important. We're just going to put LLC for this one. And then you want to check all that apply in this next section. So if you want to say minority and woman owned and Black, or just click Latino, click all that may apply. If you are county based or county certified, you can click one of those as well. If you click certified minority business enterprise, you're going to have to put in your MBE number. So make sure you have that number ready, but we're just going to unclick it for now. And again, remember, we're clicking next because we're continuing through the application and see how the navigation moved for you. So then you want to enter your primary contact name. First and last name, we've got the fields separated here. The title that you have in the business. So if you're the president, or if you're the owner, or you're the managing partner, whichever the case may be. Your email address. What cell phone we can contact you on. And if you're the primary contact, put yes, and then put what percent of ownership you have in the business. If you are only, for instance, a 50% owner, another box is going to open up for you to add that additional owner and what percentage. And you can continue to add owners until you come up to 100% ownership. All the ownership people must add up to 100%. So we're going to change this back to 100 though. And you see how that disappeared because the system sees, okay, we're at 100. We have all the partners, so we can continue. And we're going to hit next. Oh, I forgot my @sign. So it's telling me that's not a valid email address. So now we've come to the end. So here you don't click save. Don't do it. Click submit so that we can see that you have finished the first portion of the eligibility portion of the grant application. So we're going to hit submit. And if you don't see this box, it's not submitted. Where it thanks you for your submission, tells you to click OK and close your browser. And then immediately go to your email because it should pop up. It should be less than 5 minutes. It really should be faster than that, where you can see the email that we've got the first part of your application confirmation come in. If you don't see it, check your spam and your junk folder. Okay. So now we're going to go to our email and we're going to see that this email came in and it's going to look like this. Can everyone see that email? Okay, and here it tells me that I've applied to the Purple Line Grant Program, and now I need to complete part 2. If you completed part 2, you know, everything was fine on the eligibility side, so you can go ahead and click that link, and it will take you directly back into the portal where you can now start with a new navigation bar. It populates the information that it had before, it assigns the program, and then you continue with the application. This grant is $5,000. So if you put 10,000, if you put 20,000, it's still only going to be 5,000. If you put 2,000, it's still going to be 5,000. So make sure you fill in 5,000. And then a justification of how the Purple Line construction is impacting your business and what losses you have has occurred or how you've been impacted. Like for instance, no parking for customers due to construction, or whatever else. Be as detailed and as lengthy as you want to be inside of 1,000 characters, but really give us as much detail as possible, because we're all going to use this information and share it with MTA and the Purple Line Coalition to help address some of the issues you've been having that are impacting your business. So if this is your opportunity to tell us about those things, and we'll be able to pass this on to stakeholders who could influence things being easier during this construction process, especially since it's now been extended. So remember, we're going to click next. And it takes you to the next section. And we're going to ask, how are you going to use these funds? So I'm going to say payroll and rent, the approximate costs of what that's going to be. Okay. And again, stating why the Purple Line funds are going to make it so that you've not been able to make these payments. How has your revenue been impacted? And so I'm just going to put something in here because it's required. Okay, so we're going to, I want you to be as detailed again with this information so that we can help address these issues that are happening in the area, especially if it's impacting your bottom line. Okay, and if you have another use, then you can add this, and it'll click this, and it'll add another set of boxes for you to fill in more information. So for instance, if you want to put utilities, and then you'll be able to put what your monthly utilities are, and then tell us how is the Purple Line construction impacting your ability to pay your utilities. And then you want to click next. And so this next section is about other grants that you have received. Again, if you've received Purple Line funds before from either the Commerce program or the First County program, you're not eligible for this grant at this time. But we do want to know if you receive perhaps federal dollars. For instance, some of you maybe in 2020 received PPP funds, okay? And this was a federal source. And, you can, give a description of the funds, whatever detail you have of that, maybe that it came from the state or from the feds, and then tell us how you use the funds. Maybe use it for PPE, you retain jobs, that's very important. Maybe you started curbside pickup. Maybe you set up virtual equipment. Okay, so your staff could work from home. Whatever the case may be, however you use these funds, please put it in the box. It's a required field. And then perhaps maybe you got idle dollars, so you want to add another program. So however many programs where you receive dollars, you can add those programs and tell us what it was spent on, and then click next. So this is probably I would say the most difficult, but not terribly difficult section, and this is your financial information section. And so you want to be sure it tells you to click what kind of document type you're discussing. So in this case, we're going to say we're going to talk about the tax return. And this will be for the year 2020. And you want to tell us what your total revenue was. So you want to have that tax return or financial statement next to you, what your total revenue was for the year, what your total expenses were for the year, and your net income or loss for the year, what your total assets currently are. You find this on your balance sheet, and what your liabilities are. This can be found in the balance sheet of your tax return or your financial statement. Yes, your tax returns do have balance sheets. And then for total revenue expenses, that's going to be found in the preliminary sections and sheets of your tax return or on the income statement of your financial statement. Okay, and if you're going to add another document, you can do that here, and another set of these boxes will open up. You're only required to do one. You don't have to do multiple. Now, this next section is really important because here's where you're going to upload the document you have. So it's important to choose wisely, because if you choose that, and this is also the section that helps you prove that you are an ongoing business concern and that you are open and operating for business. So we're going to want to see something from 2021 or 2022 that you are open and operating for business. If you submit something that's from 2020 or 2019, that's a whole year and a half, the business could be closed. And so we're going to ask you to please submit something more current. You have the option of three things. You could do a cash register report, you could do a bank statement, or you can do a tax return. If you're doing a tax return, please upload all of the pages, not just the first page, not just a 2 or 3 page 1040. We want all the statements and attachments to make up the complete tax return, and the sheet where it shows this tax return was submitted to the IRS. Most of the time there's a page that shows that it was virtually or electronically submitted. We want that page as well. So in this case, we're going to submit our tax return. So we're going to say, no, we're not going to submit a cash register or merchant report. We're going to say no to the bank statement. However, we're going to say no to the 2019 tax return, but we're going to say yes to a more recent tax return. And here we're going to add the file. So you click add file. It's going to take you to, you can navigate in your computer where your tax returns are stored, and then you can just double click on it and it will load the tax return. Okay. The next thing that you're going to load is the W-9. If you don't know what a W-9 is, you can click here and actually download the form and fill it out before you upload it. It's required field, so please do that. This is one of the items that a lot of applications are stopped for, and then our processors has to stop processing your grant and send you an email and say that was not a W-9 that you uploaded. We are checking to make sure that what you say you uploaded is actually what it is, and it has all the pages and it's been signed correctly and dated. And in case of tax returns, as I said, we'll be checking to see that it was electronically submitted. So please submit that page. If you don't, processor will stop and have to send you an email about that incorrect document. So we're going to add our W-9 file here. And then the next thing it asks for is evidence that you're in good standing. In this case, we will accept a screenshot from Business Express. So here we're going to add this file where I've got evidence of good standing. Okay. I did want to pause here for a second and share with you what that Business Express portal looks like very quickly. Okay. And so here is that's again the link to the W-9, but here's the link to the Business Express. Our partners are going to put this in the chat for you. They're also going to put the W-9 link in the chat for you as well. And so this is when you go to this link, this is what Business Express is going to look like. It's going to ask you to enter your full business name and click the search button. Then you'll go to a page that looks like this, where your business will come up. You want to click on the business name, and then the next page you get will be this, and it will tell you whether the business is in good standing or not. And here you can take a screenshot or copy it, or copy the page, make it a PDF, any kind of uploadable file, and you'll be able to then upload that here as I just did. Okay, now we're going to click next. We're getting close to the end. Yes, here's the money page. The money page means you are almost done. All I need you to do now is tell me how we're going to send you your grant. And so this is very important, because if you enter your bank information incorrectly, we will not be able to send you your grant. And the processor will have to stop again and check your documents and send you an email and find out why the money that we just sent you has bounced back in our ACH bank portal. So enter your bank name and enter the bank account name as it appears. As it appears is very important. As it appears on your checkbook, on your checking account. Some of you have doing business as. Make sure that this business name is exactly as it appears on your check. So we're just gonna, and then your account number as it appears on the bottom of your check. So the account, and if you're looking at the bottom of your check, the first set of numbers is actually the routing number, but the second set of numbers is actually the account number. So make sure that number is correct. Routing number is those first 9 digits at the bottom of your check, reading from left to right. And before we add this file, like we did previously, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so this would be the routing number, and this would be your account number. And this is just your check number. See if that matches? We don't need that. Don't put your check number in those fields on the portal. Just your route, and don't transpose them. Don't mix them up. I realize we ask for your account number first, and then we ask for your routing number. That's another reason why the grant funds are returned to our portals, because people are putting their routing number where they should have put their account number, and vice versa. So make sure that you're putting the right number in the right field, and you put the name on the account exactly as it appears, because that would be another reason the bank will kick it back. And you're going to click next. And we are on the last page, everyone. Here you have to confirm that you are located in Prince George's County and will be there throughout the grant period. Also confirm that everything in this application and all the attachments are accurate and complete. If you don't click these, it will not process. This grant application will not process. You read this very carefully, because you're affirming that you're going to abide by all the conditions of this grant. One of which is, of course, obeying all Maryland laws and paying your taxes, both to the feds and the state. That also, it's a drug-free and alcohol-free workplace. That this grant, not your personal information, not your business information, not your tax returns, but the fact that your business received a $5,000 grant from this program may be posted on FSC or county websites. Again, we will not share your personal information. We will not share any documents that you have provided. And that's this media release, video media print release here. And also that the business is not currently in any kind of litigation or pending lawsuit. that you have not filed personal bankruptcy or the business hasn't filed bankruptcy, that you have filed your taxes with the IRS, as I stated before, and again, that these statements are all true. And once you've read that, you just sign the document, sign the grant. You must enter your name, and then you can click on date and the calendar will pop up and you'll be able to do that. Again, do not save it, submit the application. And so we're going to submit the application. And you've got the box. So it says, thank you, we've got part 2. Again, close your browser and check your email. If you don't see the email in a few minutes, then make sure you check your spam or junk. Okay, so we're going to close the browser. We're going to check our email and see what that email looks like. It's already come in. And so now this email says we've got part 2. And anytime you feel like you want to find out what's going on, what status is my grant in, you can click on check status of your application. It will take you to the portal and it will tell you application's been received, or it'll say it's been in processing, or it'll say it's approved, or it'll say you need to sign your grant application. Okay. And once we award the money, it will say awarded. Okay. If you received an email from us and there was a document that we needed, you can add it here. Okay. All right. So the next thing that will happen is we'll begin processing your application. That processing will take about 2 weeks, unless there's a problem, unless we found something wrong with your application or something that was incomplete or documents that were uploaded that were either incorrect or incomplete. And we're waiting, we've sent you an email, we're waiting for you to respond. If that is not happening, then we'll continue to process your application within those 2 weeks. And then you'll get an email from us saying that your grant has been approved. Okay, and let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so your email will look like this. It says it's been approved, and now we need you to sign your grant agreement. Okay, and you would click on this blue link to sign your grant agreement. And once you do that, this grant agreement will pop up. And it will look like this. This information will be pre-filled in with your company name, the amount of the grant you've been approved for, and the program. This grant agreement explains that it's a single payment and the purposes, business purposes for which you may use it. Basically, you can use the grant agreement for any business purpose. And you're certifying and affirming that you will do that. The conditions of this grant is you must, if you hire people, that you hire people when there's vacancies, and that those departures, if it's possible, are filled with county residents, and that you will not relocate out of the county, either, especially not using the grant funds, but definitely not during the grant period. Again, that you must remain in good standing with the state. And again, that you must be physically located in Prince George's County. So you can relocate within the county along the Purple Line corridor. Okay. You must maintain your records for at least 5 years. Explains what would be considered an event of default for this grant. And again, those other affirmations and certifications that you already read when you signed your grant application. And then you just want to type in, click the I agree. You got to click I agree, enter your name, and then you'll be able to select your date and date the document just like you did when you submitted the application. And then once you do that, you'll get a copy, you get another email with a PDF copy of the grant agreement you just signed. And then once we'll see that you've signed your grant agreement on our side of the portal. We'll be able at that time to process it through our bank portal and fund the grant. And that is how you submit and get funded for a Purple Line grant. We're going to take questions momentarily, but first I wanted to let you know that our organization, FSC First, is also a nonprofit, but we are a non-bank lender. And we have over 11 programs in addition to the Purple Line Grant Program to fund and capitalize small businesses, not just within Prince George's County, but throughout the state of Maryland. We are a certified SBA lender, but we do have 9 other non-SBA programs. And we use these programs to try to fund businesses wherever they may be in the timeline and lifetime of their business, whether they're a startup and they're pre-revenue, or whether they are an established business, or they're an emerging businesses that's trying to expand and go to the next level in their business. We have over $37 million to lend, and we're happy to, help you finding a total solution for all your capital needs. This is a $5,000 grant. That may not be enough to do everything you need to do in your business. And so FSC First has funds whereby you can obtain small business flexible loans from our organization. Our programs specialize in businesses that may not have been able to obtain a bank loan yet. And this may be their very first business or commercial loan. And so we specialize in helping businesses achieve capital from a different source besides a bank. And so you can reach out to me directly at drmedley@fscfirst.com, or you can go straight to our website and apply on our online portal to fscfirst.com. And at this time, Sandy, we can open it up for questions and answers.
Perfect. Thank you, Dawn. Yes, we do have a couple of questions. The first, just wanted to verify that nonprofits are ineligible for this program.
That's correct. Nonprofits are ineligible for this program.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. And
if you want to send me an email, if there's a nonprofit that is looking for funds, we have another organization here at the county that may be able to assist them.
Okay. Awesome. And then let me check here. Do you have a website address, a website that talks about the program? We put in a link to the application, but we didn't include a web page for the actual program. Is that something that you could share?
So all the information about the program was on the original master email that went out to everyone.
Okay.
It is not on our website because it's such a short-term program that it's not on our website, but that original email that went out to everyone notifying everyone about the program is where all the information is contained.
Okay. And if they think they have received funding, this grant before, but they're not sure if they've received it for this particular grant or other funding, how could they find out?
They can just send me an email and I'll confirm it for them in a few minutes.
Okay, perfect. And I think those are all the questions. I'm just, this is for, we've just said it's not for nonprofits, but the question was, is it for community organizations, businesses, and individuals, or can you just clarify the who actually qualifies?
Sure, it needs to be a for-profit entity and also a non-government entity. So if you're for-profit and non-government, you would be eligible, and that's
Perfect.
Local government, state, or federal.
Perfect. Those were all of the questions that we have. Javier dropped in all of his contact information and that of one of his colleagues into the chat. We shared your email address. We shared a copy of a link to the W-9 for people who need that information. Obviously, the link to see if your status is current with the state. For those that joined a little bit late, I'm going to drop in another link to the application itself here in the chat. But those were all of the questions that we have at this time.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. And I hope to see your applications in the portal real soon.